I want everybody to say, talk to me then, what? 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 Lady, talk to me then, what? Talk to me then, what?
The episode world has been waiting for. I hope it doesn't get the heat I'm expecting to get. Because it seems like whenever you talk about a particular type of people, you always get heat, right? And although this episode will not be about them, right? But however, they are the ones who are responsible for what I'm about to talk about now. But it's directed to the other gender, right? So here's the thing, right? Initially, I wanted to be brash and, be violent and, make sure that I piss everyone off. But then I thought to myself, the things that I'm going to be saying are going to do that anyway, so why animate myself in such a way that, oh, no. There's absolutely no need for that, right? So here's the thing. This doesn't piss me off. This again just makes me sad and disappointed, right? When I ended off the first episode of this mini-series, it's just 2 parts. So when I ended off the first part of this series, right, I mentioned that it's unfortunate that there are some women who are given a superpower and they still can't use it to their advantage. A superpower to take advantage of a man's desire for lust. Man's desire for lust, or however you phrase that, right? Some women fail at that. And when you look at them, you're like, there are some people she can fool, or there are some men she can fool, right? But it's unfortunate that even your greatest superpower, you still can't use it. And for some reason, we must believe that they are equal as a gender themselves, not comparing them to the other gender. They themselves are equal. These are the same people who say they are 9 out of 10s or 10 out of 10s when they're actually 3s out of 10, right? These are the same people who encourage body positivity, whatever the fuck that means, right? These are the same people who are very competent according to themselves. They're very, very competent, but can't even decide what to eat. Like, boom, right now, you have to go and eat. Where must you go eat? And then they have a mental breakdown, but we're supposed to believe that these are the people. Right? So anyway, there was a woman that I saw, South African woman. She was invited to a certain podcast, which again I won't mention. She was invited to a certain podcast, and then she talked about all these great things that come with this platform where she markets herself as that type of creator of content, right? Saying it's all good, it's all successful. She doesn't need a man, right? That's your target market, but okay, you don't need men, right? It's your target market though. You're not marketing yourselves to women to view your content. But okay, you don't need men, right? And then all of a sudden, after saying all of these things in that podcast, right? She was recently seen. Okay, I wouldn't say recently. I recently saw that video, right? Of her saying that the amount of money. She's questioning how these people are getting these amounts of money. Now, I didn't view the full video, so maybe she did mention how these people are getting money. I mean, I know how they're getting money. If you watch the part one, I will remind you though throughout the course of this episode, right? So she then mentioned that the most amount of money she's made doesn't even amount to 50,000 rand. Now, she mentioned it in dollars, so I may be wrong at the figures, but I know for a fact it's not over 100,000 rand. I know for a fact it's not over 100,000 rand. And that's the most amount of money she's made since joining said platform, right? Now, my question is, don't you think that your target market that you said you don't need, maybe just realize they don't need it? They don't need you. Because, I mean, you don't need them, right? That's my first question. Like, is this not like karma in a way? And secondly, my other question is, how bad do you have to be? Like, okay, she is, I wouldn't say she's attractive, but I mean, I would say that probably 80% of the men will chase after her, right? Because I mean, for some reason, even some women you'd be like, oh, okay, they're highly desirable now. But now my question is, don't you think that maybe those people just found a better person? And what's unfortunate is that she's done it. It was free until you had to pay to view the content. Now my question is, the fact that you wanted people to pay for your content, who who's supposed to pay for the content? Because again, you're not marketing to your gender. You're marketing to the gender that you said you don't need, right? And then to top it all off, you're now complaining that this thing of being independent is really a scam. No, I'll tell you exactly what it means to be independent. Actually, no. Let me say this rather. I'll tell you exactly what your problem is. You tried to be a man. That's it. You tried to be a man. You forgot that in any sort of business, there's competition. It's not you only. Yes, you can collaborate with other creators who are, let's just say, more successful than you. Because I mean, you had a lot of viewers when it was free than you did when you were getting paid for it, right? But now you failed to use your superpower to make as much money as you wanted because you wanted to be a man. Sorry, you wanted to be independent. Let me phrase it like that. You wanted to be independent. You don't want to rely on a man, right? So you failed at using your greatest superpower. You had a lot of viewers that are for free. They already know how you look like, right? And you still can't even add value. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? You try to use your superpower like a man. That superpower is great for women. In my mind, I'm thinking this is the perfect platform where a woman can be a woman and use their greatest superpower. But then all of these women are trying to do it from an angle of being a man. Okay, here's my question. Why do you think all these creators who are running those creators' pages? Because some of you don't even know that these people, I mean, it's been said most successful creators who made tons of money from using their greatest superpower, right? I'm gonna keep calling it that because the other word for some reason it violates some guidelines, right? So some women who were great and amazing in using their superpower, they told them that they don't even, when they typing on the keyboard, they don't even type on the keyboard. They just, as an action, they typing, but they're not the ones who are doing the typing. How many people have you seen on the podcast talk about this who made tons of money just saying, no, there's a man who's running this, right? And this is one thing that I need people to understand. Even all these celebrities who are saying, no, fuck the patriarchy, who are saying you don't need a man, I'm a one man ruler, whatever, like whatever bullshit they say on their songs. Have you ever noticed that, I don't want to say their names, but a few of them, they're actually doing the exact opposite of what they are singing, right? The others are actually miserable that they're actually doing what they're singing because whatever they're saying is right, right? So, but most importantly, it is all scripted. Now, obviously, as an actor, I'm not an actor, but actors will tell you this. If you believe the content they're producing, then it means they're doing their jobs well. They don't have to believe it, but they're doing their jobs well, hence acting. Now, has it not occurred to you that pretty much the whole entertainment industry is actors? Pretty much, not all of them, but pretty much all of them are actors. And you're still believing what they're saying. I've come to the point where it's either I don't listen to mainstream media, or if I do listen to it, I do the exact opposite of what they say. What's funny is that everyone can do this, meaning mainstream media will die, but then they can just still be like, okay, let's just start telling the truth. Now we're gonna go back to doing opposite of what they say because you don't believe them, right? So now we won't even know the truth. So it's all just. But anyway, my point is going back to from what I diverted from. If you are trying to be successful at that content, at creating the content and making a man loads and loads of money from creating that type of content, just do it as a woman. Don't do it as a man. Because you don't think that there are creators who are better than you. You don't analyze them. You don't perform like them. You don't think like them, right? And to be quite honest, probably the best thing you've done is collaborating with them. But you're still not paying attention to what works for them. Hence, that's why you're complaining, that it was all a scam or that they're scamming you. No, they're not scamming you. You are incompetent. So the greatest superpower that every single woman possesses, you can't even use that. And some women who are less, some women who are not as attractive as you are, know how to use the superpower better than you do. So what does it say about you? Right? Now, I know this comes across as me defending the platform. I really don't care what happens to the platform. To be quite honest, I mean, it's fantastic what they've done according to them. But in my opinion, just, right? Another thing that I wanted to point out is that, as I made a big point about it in the part 1 episode, is that now you guys are being beaten by AI generated content. So now not only were you competing amongst yourselves as if like there was any competition, right? Now even AI is your competition. Now you tell me, how exactly are you supposed to outperform AI? Firstly. And secondly, since you can't use it as your superpower, imagine those who know how to use that superpower comes or collaborates or creates content with someone who is business minded that you don't need, right? Because as much as they're a target market, but you don't think like them, but also you said you don't need them, right? Comes and creates content with that person, how exactly are you supposed to beat that person? AI generated person. How? How? So it really pissed me off. I mean, like, I had a lot of things to say regarding this episode, regarding this topic, sorry. I had a lot of things to say. But then eventually I was like, I can put it all into one episode and make this an hour long episode, right? Because I have a lot of opinions, and like I have a lot of opinions to the point where I'm now thinking about just making them into different episodes, just shitting on them, right? Now you think I have a lot to shit on. I have a lot to say about a particular gender. There's a lot I can say about them that'll come across as me shitting on them, right? Because I am shitting on them. But to be quite honest, there's tons of things I can say about my gender that will make me shit on them twice as much.
I want everybody to say, talk to me then, what? Talk to me then, what? Say to me